it to the yard, guys. I'm riding with a partner today. It's Wednesday morning. Me and my buddy always ride together on Wednesdays. So that's what we doing, man. I think we got 6 stops. So he should be pulling in any minute. When he get here, we'll get started, man. So this is my first time trying these protein shakes right here. Chocolate flavor, Rockin' Protein. It says Builder. Rockin' Protein Builder. 30 grams of protein though. That's pretty good. 6 grams of sugar. Not bad at all. Let me know if you guys tried this before. Those of you that drink protein shakes. Shamrock Farms product. I give it a taste test, man. Nice source of protein. Here go my guy right here. I hear him pulling up. And there you go, man. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. When I'm riding with somebody, I normally just sign in on my phone. We got the Samsara app, or at least I got it downloaded. Excuse me. I got the Samsara app downloaded on my phone. Some drivers may have it downloaded as well, but not all of them. I don't think my partner right there has his. But there we go right there. So I just sign in right here and just go on duty, man. There it is. We are on duty. Alright guys, so I don't even know where to start with this story, but it's story time. So today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys probably one of, if not the worst day in food service while working with GFS. If you're new to the channel, let me just say this. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you for watching this video. Definitely check out the rest of the content on the channel, man. You may, see something that you like. This channel may be able to add some value to you, all right? It's January 25th, I believe, today, while I'm recording this video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post it today or not. Probably not. May post it tomorrow, but January 25th, 2024, all right? It is Thursday. So last week, we experienced some pretty cold weather, all right, across the country. But you guys have been following the channel. You know I live in the South. I live in Florida. However, my route that I run is primarily in the Mississippi area. Leaving Alabama, Mississippi, I was going to New Orleans. Not going to New Orleans no more. So now it's just, for the most part, primarily Mississippi and Alabama. It was 14 degrees the day that, the craziness happened. I'm a regional delivery driver for Gordon Food Service. For those that don't know, I run a 2-day route, which means I do part of my route one day, and then I do the other portion the second day, which is why it's called the 2-day route. Also known as a chain account, just food service lingo for those of you that may not be in the industry. So the first day on my 2-day route, everything went swell, right? It was perfect, no issues whatsoever that first day. Finished up, got to the hotel, and did my 10-hour reset. Fast forward to the start of the second day. Again, very cold weather, icy roads. We even had a little snowfall in the Mississippi area where I'm located, at least where I lay over at. So I get up, regular time. I normally start my second day around 11-ish. I'm normally leaving the hotel around 11:30, after pre-trips and all of that type of stuff is done. Head over to the first stop. I only have 3 stops on my second day. So I head over to the first stop, which is literally maybe 7 minutes up the road. I get there, get the product delivered. Everything was fine at the first stop. No issues whatsoever. I leave the first stop, get on the interstate. I get about 20 minutes down the road, and the truck starts running funny, right? Next thing you know, I get all these notifications popping up on the dash. I'm in a 2023 Freightliner Cascadia. I really like the truck. The truck runs great, right? Despite what happened that particular day, the truck runs great. I can't complain. But in this instance, I end up having an issue, right? The truck starts running crazy. I get all these notifications that pop up on the dash. And one notification said automatic shutdown in 60 seconds to prevent engine failure, right? So I'm like, man, what is going on? So again, I'm on the interstate. I'm like, man, I gotta get to the shoulder as quick as I can before this truck shuts down, and that's exactly what I did, right? So actually the time had kind of ran out by the time I was able to get to the shoulder, because like the interstate where I was riding on, it really wasn't a shoulder in the area where I was driving on, so I had to hopefully hurry up and get down the road a little bit further before the shutdown. So finally, I kind of made it to where I was able to kind of get over onto the shoulder to where it was enough room, for the truck and all that to really get over, right? And so that's what I did. By the time I got to the area where I was able to get to, the truck shut down. So I was pretty much coasting over to the shoulder at this point. No power. Luckily, there was no vehicles behind me whatsoever. At this point, it's like close to 1 o'clock in the morning. And truck failure. I'm on the side of the road. It's freezing outside. And I'm like, man, what happened? So I called our fleet team, right, to inform them of what happened, which is normally what I do. Anytime there's an issue with the truck, I just call the fleet team, right? So call them, explain to them, like, look, truck just shut off. Not sure what's going on, but it was automatic shutdown. And I'm just, going through explaining to them everything that transpired, right? And so they're like, well, pop the hood and, kind of see if you see anything out of the ordinary, anything leaking or whatever. I'm like, all right. So that's what I did. Got the hood open, didn't see anything leaking or anything like that. I'm on the phone with the fleet team this whole time while I'm looking, under the hood, right? Not seeing anything, and then finally I go over to the passenger side and I'm looking. I got my flashlight looking. Like, now I don't see anything leaking. I got my flashlight where the fan is located in front of the engine, and I see a belt pop, right? So the belt is just all tangled up around the fan, or behind the fan, I should say. It's just all tangled up. So I'm like, well, I see the problem. I got a belt pop. So they're like, well, that's a good thing that we identified the problem, right? Now we gotta figure out how we gonna get this thing fixed. And so I'm like, all right. They were like, let me make some phone calls and I'll call you right back. So I went back in the truck, grabbed my flares to set up behind me, put my flares out, waited on them to call me. While I'm waiting on them, I gave my wife a call, you know, just to kind of inform her of everything that was going on, and also kind of give her a heads up about me possibly not making it back to the house, you know, that following day because of that situation, right? And so me and her talked for a little bit, and then I finally, you know, got off the phone with her, like, hey, go back to sleep, get some rest, you know, I'll update you when I find out more information a little bit later on, right? So Fleet Team contacted me, and they basically told me that it was gonna be in the morning before anything can be done to the truck. So it's like, yeah, you know, unfortunately, you know, you're gonna have to wait until in the morning unless you guys have a spare truck that somebody probably can bring you out or something along those lines, right? And I knew we didn't have a spare on site at this time. So anyway, that was that. So anyway, my manager was like, look, I know you got some good relationships around there. Is there anybody that you think you can call that could pick you up from the truck and take you back to the hotel? Because again, guys, I was only about 20 minutes outside of the hotel, right? So I'm like, let me think about it. Let me think about it, and try to make a call. I think I probably can get one of my buddies at the hotel to maybe come pick me up, right? So got off the phone with him, and before I left the hotel, I remembered my guy Miguel. Shout out to my guy Miguel, man. He was like, bro, you know, I'm staying here tonight, right? He chose not to go home because of the weather, because of the weather conditions and the road, the ice and all that. He did mention that he needed some new tires for his car. So he was like, look, man, I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere. So him and also some other employees actually stayed at the hotel. They actually didn't go out on the road. They spent the night at the hotel. So I thought about that while I was in the truck. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Miguel stayed. Let me see if I can hit him up to try to come get me, right? I said, I figured I'd ask. And so that's what I did. I called the hotel, spoke to Miguel, told him the situation, like, bro, I need a huge favor if you can. If you can't, I understand. But I'm broke down, about 20 minutes away. If you can you come scoop me, right? Can you come pick me up and just bring me back to the hotel? So he like, man, yeah, bro, I'll come get you. You know what I'm saying? No problem. He said, give me a little minute. All right, I said, all right, cool. So I waited probably about a good maybe 30 to 45 minutes before he showed up. He finally got there. One of the reasons why he took so long is, number one, like I mentioned, he said he did need some tires, man. So he was driving like 10 miles per hour all the way there to get me. And so, you know, when he picked me up, we actually slid a couple times. Not anything crazy, but we slid a couple times just due to him needing tires. And again, the roads were icy, right? So on the way back, he's literally driving like 15 miles per hour all the way back, right? Extremely slow, but just being safe, right? So he was definitely doing the right thing. He was being very cautious. And again, it was a couple times where, you know, the car kind of slid, and I was like, dang. I hate having them out here like this, man. Right? So anyway, we finally, made it to the hotel, safe and sound, thank God. So we go in, and I'm like, man, bro, what's your cash out? That's the first thing I asked him when we got back to the hotel inside of the building. Like, bro, what's your cash out? And he was like, nah, Ant, man, you cool, bro. Like, don't worry about it. I said, no, bro, what's your cash out? I'm compelled to take care of you, bro, for coming to get me and just risking being out there in those type of conditions, bro. I gotta give you something. I wouldn't feel right if I did. So he shot me his cash out. I gave him $50, and I just was like, bro, I appreciate you for coming out, man. Like, you don't understand, because there's no telling how long I would have been out there, right? Like, nobody's doing Uber at that time or anything like that. So fast forward to the following morning, I guess about maybe 7, 8 o'clock, I get a call from, I think it was the fleet department called me first, or maybe my manager, one of the two. One of them called me, and they basically told me they were calling around trying to see if anybody had a part available and all that. At that time, they couldn't find anybody. And so at that moment, I already knew, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be staying here again, because I'm thinking about the time, I'm thinking about what time that customer opens up, and I know I'm not gonna be able to get in the parking lot, after 10:30, and it's just getting later and later, right? So at that point, I already made up my mind, like, yeah, I'm gonna have to stay over. So I called my wife, told her, babe, I'm gonna have to stay over another night. I already know it. So I get off the phone with management then, and I think I waited another 30 minutes because I believe, they were trying to figure some other stuff out about possibly getting me another tractor out some type of way. And so that's what they were working on, contacting Penske or getting another Gordon Food Service tractor from another location. So they was kind of going back and forth on that, which would, what would be the better option, right? Well, at first they was gonna send another tractor from GFS down from a different location, and then that plan changed, and then they end up saying Penske is gonna send you another tractor. They're gonna have that delivered to the hotel for you, but it's gonna be later on tonight, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. In addition to that, they said the police had got involved in the truck that was broke down, for the simple fact that they said it was causing some issues with traffic. So the police was towing the truck. I'm like, okay, this is getting wild. So yeah, so it turned out to be this whole ordeal, man. So the police called the tow truck company. The tow truck company needed a key from me. And so they said, okay, the tow truck is gonna be calling you because they need the key to the tractor. I'm like, all right. So I guess about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes from that time. But I guess I forgot to tell you that at that point, my manager told me, like, and looks like you're gonna, have to stay over another night, man. I apologize. He was really apologetic about the situation, man. But like I told him, I kind of pretty much already had it in my head that I was gonna have to stay over. So, it is what it is, right? So, he told me about the tow truck needing the key to the truck, and they was gonna call me and let me know they were on their way to come pick it up or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. And so fast forward to that, tow truck guy calls me like, hey, this is so-and-so from the tow truck company. I'm on the way to pick up the key. And also the police want you to come back to the scene where the truck is broke down at. He was like, we actually already got the truck on the record and everything, but they want you to come back to the scene. So I'm like, okay. I'm thinking in my head, like, this is interesting. if the police want me to come back to the scene, I'm wondering if they're, thinking about giving me a ticket or something like that. That's the thoughts going through my head, right? So tow truck guy comes, I hop in the truck with him. We go where the truck is broke down at. They already had it on the record. I had to get some personal belongings out of the truck, so I did that. And when I got out of the tractor, because I was still able to, get in the tractor even though it was on the record, right? So by the time I grabbed my little personal belongings out of the tractor, I see the police walking up to me out my peripheral, right? So he comes up. So he's like, "You driving this truck?" I'm like, "Yep." He said, "Yeah, man, the truck was causing some issues with traffic because it's on the white line, right?" So I go to the driver's side and I'm looking. He's kind of showing me, he's like, "You see it's on the white line, it's causing some issues, with traffic, and it can't be on the white line like that." And I'm explaining to him like, my apologies, the truck just shut down on me. And, I was lucky enough to be able to get over at all, right? That's my apologies. And he was like, "Did you call anybody?" I was like, "Well, I called my management team and let them know that I was broke down." Then he was, and then he said, "Well, did you call us?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't call you guys." He said, "Well, you should have called us. We would have got it towed, right?" So I'm like, my bad. That's my mistake. I didn't think to call you guys. I was on the shoulder off the road. But he was like, "Yeah, but it's on the white line though." So I'm like, "All right, I get it." So at that point, he asked for my ID. He went to his car, ran my ID, came back, and he basically just handed me my ID and didn't say anything else, and that was pretty much it. He didn't give me a ticket, you know what I mean? So I was grateful for that. So the guy that picked me up wasn't the guy that was picking up the truck. The guy that picked me up, he was just the co-worker assisting the other person that had the truck on the record. So it was two guys there from the tow truck company. One guy, like I said, that picked me up, and then the other guy that was actually towing the vehicle. So anyway, the guy that picked me up, he was following the guy who had the actual truck. And the way he was talking to the other guy, he sounded like he may have been the guy's maybe supervisor or something like that. Just by the way he was talking to him, just giving him a lot of instruction on different things. And so anyway, while we're heading back to the hotel, I'm asking the tow truck guy, I'm like, "Look, I know you guys getting ready to tow the trailer to wherever record company. Am I gonna have access to the trailer? Because I gotta, start my route tonight, and I'll be over there to pick the trailer up when I get started." So he's like, "Yeah, it's just an empty lot. You'll have access to it. You can just go, get the trailer, no problem." I said, "Okay, cool." So fast forward to that night when I got started. Mind you now, Penske finally brought the tractor over to me probably about 8 o'clock that night. So, I really couldn't sleep for real because I had to get up to get the tractor from them. So I got the tractor from Penske, looked it over. I went ahead and got all the ice and stuff off the windshield because, everything, the driver's side door was frozen shut, all of that type stuff. It was just ice everywhere. So I went ahead and did that before I even, logged in and started the route, because I didn't want to have to deal with that when I actually got started, right? So did all that, and then went back inside, laid down a little bit, and got back up. I actually started an hour early. So I started at 10. I'm like, look, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to get this route done and get in my own bed, man. So I called myself getting to an extra early start. And I'm like, all right, boom. I'm finna go ahead and knock this rod out. I got this spare truck, this rental. Let me go ahead and go over here, man, and pick this trailer up. So the record yard was 15 minutes away from the hotel. So I go over there, I bobtail over there to the record yard. I see the trailer, I back up to it. Boom. It's not locking, right? Kingpin not locking. I'm like, okay, let me try this again. I pull up, back up again, still not locking. So I did that about 4 more times, right? And it never locked. So now I'm like, okay, what's going on with this tractor, man? So I get out, you know, look at the fifth wheel, look at the kingpin, just seeing if I see anything out of the ordinary that could be causing a problem. I don't see anything. And I'm like, man, why is this not locking? Now, sometimes that happens to where you back up and it may not lock the first time. I've had that happen to me before. But typically, under normal circumstances, it doesn't take that many times for it to lock. I think that has happened to me maybe one time in 5 years where I backed up and it didn't lock. And when I back up again, it did lock. So sometimes, you know, it happened. That's why it's always important to do a tug test. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, I got out, checked everything, kind of looked over it to see if there was anything, you know, out of the ordinary. And to me, it looked normal, but I'm like, it's not locking. So I called the fleet department again, told them like, look, man, I got this rental. I've been waiting all day for this rental. I've been at the hotel already an extra day, man, I'm ready to go home. I'm like, man, this can't be happening, man. I already had a long day yesterday and now this right here. So he's like, man, that is crazy. He said, go ahead and call Penske and let them know what's going on, all right? So I was like, all right, cool. So I called Penske and they was like, look, okay, it'll be about an hour before we can get somebody out to you, which normally a minimum you're gonna wait an hour before somebody come out to you. That's like, it just is what it is. So I already knew, I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait at least an hour. So get off the phone with Penske. About 15 minutes later, another record truck pull up and they was like, dude was like, hey, I got a call to come take a look at the tractor. I think actually GFS had called somebody else to come take a look at it. Dude come, he looking at the fifth wheel, checking out everything, got his flashlight. He's not seeing anything. So he's like, all right, man, go ahead and hop in the tractor and go ahead and back up, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I get in the tractor, I go to back up, and all I hear is, whoa, 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 right? It's the guy. The other, the guy that's, you know, looking over everything. So he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I stop, I get out the truck, and he's like, your trailer got a lock on it. So I'm like, what? I didn't even think to look at the trailer to see if it had a lock on it or anything, because the guy told me I was able to get the trailer with no problem, so I'm not even thinking about that. So I get underneath the trailer, he got his flashlight on the lock, and clear as day, they got a lock on the trailer. So I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me, bro. So I called the tow truck company, guy answers the phone. I'm like, how you doing? You know, I'm Anthony with Gordon Food Service. I'm here at the yard to pick up the trailer, and you guys have a lock on it. And he's like, oh, I forgot about that. Well, it's gonna be in the morning before I could take care of that for you, right? So I'm like, in the morning? So he said, yeah, it's gonna be in the morning. I don't have nobody come out there right now. Now, this is a 24/7 establishment. At least that's what the tow truck guy told me earlier. Because I asked him, was they 24/7? He said, yeah. So anyway, when he said that, I told him that, well, you know, earlier today, when I was in the truck with the other guy, I asked him if I would be able to pick the trailer up when I got there. He told me, yeah, it wouldn't be a problem. You could pick it up, you know, nothing's stopping you from picking the trailer up. So I told the guy that on the phone, and the guy told me, this is his exact words. He said, sir, with all due respect, I'm not that guy. It's gonna be in the morning before you can get that trailer. So I'm like, all right, well, let me call my management team and let them know what's going on. So he said, all right. I just already knew that we weren't getting the trailer until in the morning. I could just tell. So anyway, I called Fleet Department, called the management team, all that. They asked for the person's number. I gave them the number. So they said, let me call. Fleet Department called. They told them the same thing, right? And without, you know, revealing all the details and everything that transpired with that whole ordeal, I'll just say we wasn't able to get the trailer that night. We had to wait until the next morning, right? So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, like, and at this point, and I didn't tell you guys, I had been out there like 3 hours, literally, from GFS trying to find, you know, different people to come, and I'm like, man, this is crazy, man. You can't make this stuff up, bro. I'm just thinking in my head, like, you mean to tell me that dude won't even come over here just to unlock this thing so I can go, bro? You gonna make me wait all the way until whenever time, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, just to get it. So these are the thoughts that's going through my head, man. My supervisor told me, like, you know, look, and just go ahead and come on back. I'm gonna have to go out there and finish it up, you know, in the morning. Whenever the morning is that he's talking about coming over there, we'll find out all that later. Just go ahead and come on back to the yard, right? Because he knew I still had 2 more days left where I had to run. So, you know, he thinking about hours and stuff like that. So that's what I did, man. Ended up bob-tailing back to the yard. Yeah, it turned out to be a very interesting 2 days, man. Very interesting 2 days. It was crazy. But anyway, that's my story, guys. Oh yeah, I still got that Penske rental right now. My truck is still getting fixed. So hopefully I have it soon. Appreciate you guys for watching, man.